What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Do I look like I'm being beamed up into a spaceship? Because that's what it looks like on the camera. I'm very annoyed by the lighting here. I have no idea what's going on lately. It has to do with something with the time of year or something. Yeah. Anyways, guys, today we're going to be checking out the story of the real SAS, also known as the Special Air Service, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is that what it stands for? I
Yes.
always wondered. And now that I'm seeing this title, I've heard the acronym. And I'm putting it together now. We have a book on our bookshelf. It's like the SAS Survival Handbook.
I think I know the one you're talking about. You bought it at a thrift store, right?
Yeah, and now it must be the same thing. I didn't even realize.
It makes sense that somebody in the SAS would have created a book like that. But guys, I really don't know much of anything about the SAS, known about them for quite some time now. I believe they were created during World War II, if I'm not mistaken.
Inspired by true events, SAS Rogue Heroes is a dramatized account of how the Special Air Service was formed during World War II.
Okay, World War II.
The SAS is a blank page, and it is our job to fill it. Why do you want to fight in the desert, Dave?
Well, I just love killing fascists,
How did this group of elite soldiers come to be?
What should we call ourselves?
And who were these very real Rogue Heroes? I'm Theo Barkland-Biggs, and I play Reg Seekings in the series. And this is the story of the real SAS.
Men who refuse to stand up.
The SAS, a special forces unit.
Okay, so we're gonna see like both real footage and like dramatized footage.
Like a mix.
Like right here, look at this. That's cool.
That is really cool. This looks like a good show.
Yeah, it does. Guys, let us know in the comments if you've seen this show. What is it on? Is it something we could actually see ourselves?
No.
I'm not sure. I've never heard of it before.
I haven't either, but it looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Of the British Army and one of the most fearsome fighting forces in the world, began life in 1941 in North Africa during the Second World War.
I understand you gentlemen are very good at killing people.
You heard right.
Convinced that traditional commando units weren't entirely effective, a bold young lieutenant came up with a radical plan that would change the course of modern warfare.
This is war work, and we have a license to behave badly.
That man was Lieutenant David Stirling of the Scots Guards.
There was no way that anybody
That's him?
was going
Wow.
to back the scheme, except possibly at the very top.
The new motto is, who dares wins.
Isn't there a
Stirling was
slogan?
born into one of the
That must
oldest.
be.
Who dares wins?
Yeah.
That must be the slogan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grandest aristocratic clans in Scotland.
Both you and General Auchinleck used to shoot on my father's estate. My father was Archibald Stirling. My mother Margaret used to make her own gin and do bird impressions. She was very good at owls.
A rebellious young man,
Men tried to more or less ignore the normal rules and regulations.
I just got back from a deep desert patrol, and I am mad as fuck.
fond of drinking and gambling.
Whiskey! I won!
He was thrown out of Cambridge University after only a year. When World War II broke out, he immediately enlisted in the Scots Guards as a lieutenant and began a distinguished, yet shall we say unconventional military career.
I was still an aeroplane.
Keen to get involved in the action, Stirling joined Britain's new raiding and reconnaissance force, known as the Commandos. In early 1941, he was dispatched to the Middle East as part of the commando group known as Lay Force. Characterized by his superiors as lazy and insubordinate,
Stirling, what would it take to make you call me sir?
It would take respect.
You know, isn't that true? Like, a lot of times the people that are most misunderstood by their teachers and by their, you know, their superiors,
authority, yeah.
They're the ones that go on to do really great things because
yeah.
they see things outside the box. They're unconventional. That happens all the time.
And again, the motto, who dares wins.
Yeah. Who dares
that
wins.
Seems to fit his personality.
I don't know for sure if that's the motto, but I really love that. I love that.
I think it is because I've heard that before.
Who dares wins.
Yeah.
Wow.
the giant sloth, as he would be referred to, became frustrated with army life.
Giant
From his
sloth.
frustration came the germ of an idea.
I am a long shot. A shot in the dark, but at least I am a shot.
For small teams of parachute-trained soldiers to operate behind enemy lines, gain intelligence, destroy enemy aircraft, and attack their supply and reinforcement routes.
Wow.
Someone said, well, where's the camp? And David said, well, that's the first job you do, is to steal one.
What we had was chaps who came from all walks of life. And there was short ones, tall ones, medium height, and we had to blend all that into a fighting body.
The man many underestimated and dismissed as a sloth was soon to become the stuff of legend, the ghostly phantom major of the SAS. And who would he recruit to his unit to execute his outlandish plan? Only the toughest, bravest and brightest soldiers were chosen. Lieutenant Robert Blair Paddy Mayne, regarded now as a truly legendary figure in the history of the Special Forces. Born in 1915 in Newtownards, Northern Ireland, into a prosperous family,
Paddy, who was a man that if you walked behind, you had no fear at all. If you were with Paddy Mayne, there was no fear at all.
Paddy was very, very different.
Paddy was one of 7 siblings, a remarkable gifted all-round sportsman. Boxing, golf and most notably rugby, he represented Ireland in the British Lions. A complex and enigmatic character. Deeply literate with a great intellect.
You are a poet.
As a matter of fact, I am.
And a capacity to produce heroics on the battlefield and damage to those off it. He had a thirst for adventure and, like Sterling, he ended up volunteering for the Commandos. After the Battle of Litany River in June 1941, Mayne was mentioned in dispatches for the impressive way he had commanded his troop, achieving his objectives and bringing back a large clutch of prisoners. Actions that brought him to the attention of recruiting officers like David Sterling.
You are the first commanding officer and I've ever actually liked.
He certainly ruffled a lot of feathers.
As depicted in the series, Mayne was said to have been recruited into the SAS from a prison cell, from which he was awaiting court-martial for striking his commanding officer.
Oh, wow. So again, we have another individual who was kind of not exactly conventional.
Not a rule follower.
Yeah.
Hot-headed, probably.
Yeah, and he ended up going on to become infamous in the SAS. Wow. It's just, this seems like that happens a lot. It really does, you know?
But I tell him that very firmly, this commanding officer wasn't for hitting.
Whatever the truth of this story, Mayne proved to be an ideal candidate for the rogue heroes.
Finally, I feel at home.
Next up, John Steele Lewis. Lieutenant Jock Lewis was the co-founder of the SAS and played a vital role in establishing the unit. Raised in Australia, he enjoyed a rugged outdoor lifestyle, and his nickname Jock was earned for his sporting endeavours at university, where his prowess led him to being elected as president of the Oxford University Boat Club. Although very different in character to both Sterling and Paddy.
Gentlemen, this is a theatre of war, not a playground.
Jock was equally eager for action.
Remember this. When we are among them, your mother is not watching.
He improvised all kinds of new training techniques.
He says, never run away. He says, because once you start running, you stop thinking. It was very sound advice.
He sought to refine the commando concept and develop a more effective way of using these highly trained soldiers. Lewis became the unit's training officer and established a grueling program, including physical exercise, parachute training, desert survival, navigation, first aid.
So he seems like he was the one that was a little bit more, I guess, a lot less hot-headed.
Yeah, keeping him in shape mentally and physically.
Yeah, he seems like he was the
voice of reason, maybe.
Maybe, you know, I guess that's kind of what I was thinking too, because it seems like he was just a little bit more calm.
Level-headed.
Level-headed.
Yeah.
That is a good way to put it, yeah. You need someone like that there.
Demolitions. Some of these methods were dangerous and experimental, like practicing parachute jumps by leaping from the back of speeding lorries.
Holy!
Another of Lewis's vital contributions was the development of a new
How do you
kind
do
of
that?
bomb, combining both high explosive and incendiary elements, ideal for destruction of aircraft and vehicles.
Oh my word.
His creation was a real game changer.
Jock had mixed up a mixture of plastic, thermite, and steel filings. That was the secret, steel filings. And of course, the thing blew up.
Through this intense training program, innovation and inspired leadership, Jock Lewis imbued the fledgling SAS with the ethos, and high standards that are its hallmarks today. Eve, played by Sophia Boutella, is the deputy head of French military intelligence in Cairo.
I share your impatience with the conduct of the war, and I intend to do something about it.
Unlike Sterling, Paddy Mayne and Jock Lewis, the character of Eve depicted in SAS Rogue Heroes is not based on an actual historical person, but rather is an imagined character created from the historical accounts of various different spies at that time.
Are you Colonel Dudley Rango Clark?
At your service.
Her counterpart in military deception, Lieutenant Colonel Dudley Clark, played by Dominic West, was on the other hand, very real. His introduction to the series, although seemingly far-fetched, was in fact based on the infamous photograph of Dudley Clark wearing a dress which circulated among the Allied High Command in late 1941.
And this is the Cairo headquarters of British Secret Intelligence Middle East.
Clark's ideas for combining fictional orders of battle, visual deception, and double agents helped define Allied deception strategy during the war, for which he has been referred to as the greatest British deceiver of World War II.
Colonel Clark,
That's
you seem to have
That's a title.
invented an entire British regiment.
Yes, from thin air.
Many others contributed to the inception of the SAS, and we've only scratched the surface of this astonishing story. But one thing is for certain, this band of rogue heroes had a truly remarkable impact on the course of history. Series 2 returns to action with the troops in spring 1943. Paddy takes control of the SAS following Sterling's capture, and now attention must turn from the conflict in North Africa to mainland Europe. Join the regiment as they face their next battle on a whole new terrain. SAS Rogue Heroes, Series 2.
wow.
Okay.
That looks like a good show.
Yeah, I was about to say, number one, that looks like an amazing show.
I feel like that's what this is for, like a teaser to get you to want to watch it.
Yeah, I think so
It
too.
definitely did its job, because now I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, but I knew nothing about how the SAS got its start, but I think this did a good job of kind of letting me understand I guess a bunch of misfits came together and created this awesome fighting force.
Yeah, that was unlike anything the world had ever seen.
Yeah, it seems like it was unlike anything they had seen before, because you had so many, so many unconventional methods, because you had so many unconventional people come together. And I mean, sometimes that's the greatest way to create something awesome, having unconventional people with unconventional thinking come together, and they can create something unconventional that the world has never seen before, and it's so awesome. And I that's at least what I gathered from this. And I believe, like they said, for example, that lady they were talking about wasn't really a real character. She just symbolized spies at the time, right? But the other people and their characteristics seem to be accurate. I don't think they were exaggerating that.
Well, I mean, they might have exaggerated certain parts of the story or their personalities, but overall, I think it seemed like it was fairly accurate.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you know anything about the SAS, how they got their starts. Do you feel like what was portrayed here was pretty accurate about the individuals they talked about? Based off of what I saw here, I think it probably was pretty close. And I think this was a really fun way to kind of learn about them. It was it wasn't dry. It was very interesting.
Right, it was a very approachable way to learn history.
Yeah, but I'd also like to look at something else about the SAS, and maybe not only, like how they got their start and whatnot, something a little more in-depth maybe. I don't really know what that would be, but definitely interested in continue exploring things like this. So let us know in the comments if you have any ideas that you think we'd like to check out. But guys, I think that's it for us today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.